To a Japanese person, the way you use your bathroom is horrifying. Not strange, horrifying. Because Japan built the cleanest bathroom culture on earth around a few unbreakable rules, and almost every Western habit breaks them. And once you hear the reasons, you'll realize they're right, and you'll never look at your own bathroom the same way again. Here are 9 Western bathroom habits that horrify the Japanese, starting with the one that disgusts them most. Habit number 1, and this is the big one, the one that genuinely astonishes Japanese people more than any other: washing yourself inside the bathtub and then soaking in your own dirty water. To understand why this is so shocking, you have to understand the single most important principle of Japanese bathing: the complete separation of washing from soaking. In Japan, the bathtub, the ofuro, is not for washing. Let that sink in. The tub is exclusively for soaking, resting, and relaxing in perfectly clean, hot water. Before a Japanese person ever sets foot in the tub, they wash and rinse their entire body thoroughly at a separate washing station, usually sitting on a small stool with a handheld shower head, scrubbing away every trace of the day's dirt and sweat. Only when they are completely, spotlessly clean do they step into the tub to soak. So when a Japanese person watches the typical Western routine, running a bath, climbing into it dirty, and washing yourself in that same water while you sit in it, their reaction is one of near disbelief. From their perspective, you are marinating in your own filth. You're sitting in a soup of your own dirt, sweat, dead skin, and soap scum, and then calling it clean. To them, the water in a Western bath at the end isn't clean water you relaxed in. It's dirty water you created and then soaked in. This one difference, wash first, soak clean versus soak and wash together, is the foundation of the entire divide. And it's why the tub water in a Japanese home stays so clean that, remarkably, the whole family shares the very same bath water one after another, each person entering already clean. That practice, unthinkable in the West, is perfectly hygienic in Japan precisely because nobody ever washes in the tub. And it's a nationwide rule. In public bathhouses and hot spring resorts, the onsen, scrubbing yourself completely clean before entering the shared water, isn't just etiquette, it's an unbreakable taboo. Every Japanese person absorbs the same lesson from childhood. You clean yourself, then you enter the water to relax. So the Western image of scrubbing your body inside the very water you then sit in strikes them as a reversal of the natural order of cleanliness itself. Their tubs even have a reheat button and a lid to keep that clean water hot for the next person, technology built entirely on the assumption that washing always happens outside the tub. If this is already fascinating, hit subscribe, because the reasons only get more eye-opening from here. Habit number 2, keeping the toilet in the same room as the bath and shower, right where you get clean. In most Western homes, the toilet sits just inches from the sink, the tub, and the shower, all crammed into one single room. To a Japanese person, this is deeply unsettling because it places the dirtiest fixture in the home, the toilet, directly beside the space where you go to become clean. In Japan, the toilet is traditionally in its own completely separate little room, physically walled off from the bathing area. The bathing space, with its washing station and soaking tub, is considered a pure, clean sanctuary. And the idea of having a toilet in that same space feels like a fundamental contradiction, mixing the act of eliminating waste with the act of purification and relaxation. This separation is so valued that in surveys of Japanese people looking for a new home, the overwhelming majority say they specifically want the toilet and the bath to be in separate rooms. There's a practical genius to it, too. Separate rooms mean one person can use the toilet while another soaks in the bath. But the deeper reason is philosophical. The clean and the unclean simply should not share a room. When a Japanese person pictures a Western bathroom where you might brush your teeth at a sink 2 feet from the toilet, it strikes them as genuinely unhygienic. A traditional Japanese bathroom isn't one room. It's a sequence of zones, a vanity area, a separate changing room, and then, through a door, the waterproof bathing room with the washing station and soaking tub, while the toilet sits in its own little room entirely. Each zone is walled off, the dirty kept rigorously apart from the clean. The Western model collapses 4 distinct zones: some clean and some unclean, into one shared box where everything mingles, and that's exactly what they find so jarring. Habit number 3, wearing the same slippers, or worse, going barefoot, from the rest of the house straight into the toilet area. This flows directly from the last point, and it's a habit that makes many Japanese people wince. In Japan, cleanliness is managed through zones, and footwear is how you honor the boundaries between them. You already know that you remove your outdoor shoes at the entrance, the genkan, and switch to indoor slippers, because outdoor dirt must never touch the clean floors of the home. But it goes further. The toilet room has its own dedicated pair of slippers, toilet slippers, that live in that room and never leave it. When you enter the toilet, you step out of your house slippers and into the toilet slippers, and when you leave, you switch back. The logic is airtight. The floor of the toilet room is considered contaminated, so you never want to carry whatever is on that floor back out onto the clean floors where you walk, sit, and live. So when a Japanese person sees Westerners padding barefoot into the bathroom, or wearing the same slippers or socks from the kitchen to the toilet and back to the living room, they see invisible contamination being tracked all through the house. That famous mistake tourists make, wearing the toilet slippers out of the toilet and into the rest of a home or inn, is met with such quiet horror precisely because it violates this deep sense of zoned cleanliness. The toilet slippers are deliberately a different color, sometimes literally printed with the word toilet, so nobody forgets to switch. The logic is obvious to them. That slipper has been on the toilet floor, which is treated as contaminated, so wearing it anywhere else spreads that contamination through the clean living space. The Western habit, where the same bare feet or socks travel from the toilet floor to the kitchen to the bedroom without a thought, looks to them like an invisible trail of contamination walked all through the house. Habit number 4, leaving the bathroom wet, steamy, and unventilated after every use. In the West, it's completely normal to finish a shower, step out, and simply leave, the walls dripping, the mirror fogged, the air thick with steam, the whole room left to sit damp for hours. To a Japanese person, this is asking for disaster, because they understand something most Westerners don't fully respect. Lingering moisture is the enemy of a clean home, and it's an open invitation to mold, mildew, and that musty bathroom smell. Japanese bathrooms are specifically designed to dry out fast. They're built as waterproof wet rooms with floor drains and, crucially, powerful ceiling ventilation fans that often include heater and dryer modes designed explicitly to dry the room and prevent mold after every use. And beyond the technology, there's the habit. Many Japanese people will squeegee or wipe down the walls and tub after bathing, and they always run the fan or open things up so the room dries completely. The mindset is that a bathroom should return to a dry, fresh state after every use, not sit as a damp, breeding petri dish. So when they see the Western habit of leaving a bathroom to stew in its own steam with no ventilation, they don't see a minor oversight. They see someone actively cultivating mold and odor. This concern is especially sharp because Japanese summers are hot and humid with a long, rainy season, and in that air, a damp bathroom grows mold startlingly fast if it isn't actively dried. So drying the room is automatic. The fan runs after every bath, the wet room design drains every drop, and many people squeegee the walls as the final step. Walking away from a steaming, dripping room and closing the door on all that trapped moisture looks to them like leaving a job dangerously half-finished. By the way, all of this is part of one bigger system. If you want the complete Japanese method, with every principle like this for a cleaner, fresher home, the full book is linked in the description of this video and on the channel. It's there if you want it. Habit number 5, relying on dry toilet paper alone and considering yourself clean. This is perhaps the habit where the gap in perception is widest, and it's the reason for one of Japan's most famous inventions. In most of the West, the bathroom routine ends with dry toilet paper, and that's considered perfectly sufficient. To a Japanese person accustomed to the modern washlet, this feels genuinely inadequate, even unclean. The washlet, the high-tech bidet toilet seat found throughout Japan, uses a jet of warm water to actually wash you, followed by a warm air dryer, and once you're used to being cleaned with water, the idea of using only dry paper feels like just smearing rather than truly cleaning. The Japanese logic is simple and hard to argue with. If you got mud on your hand, would you wipe it off with a dry napkin and call it clean, or would you rinse it with water? To them, water is obviously the more thorough clean, and cleaning the most intimate part of your body with dry paper alone seems like a strange compromise. The washlet also brings heated seats, deodorizers, and even sound features. But at its heart, the objection is about hygiene. Dry paper cleans the surface. Water actually cleans. When a Japanese person imagines the standard Western bathroom with nothing but a roll of paper, they genuinely wonder how it's considered enough. And the proof is in the visitors themselves. Huge numbers of travelers who try a washlet in Japan come home converted and buy bidet attachments for their own bathrooms. It's one of the most common "Japan changed my life" stories there is. To a nation where warm water cleaning is the baseline in homes, stations, and offices alike, dry paper alone doesn't look like a preference. It looks like a whole culture that hasn't yet discovered how much cleaner it could be. Habit number 6, carpeting the bathroom, or letting soft, damp materials linger in a wet space. This one truly baffles Japanese sensibilities. In some Western homes, particularly older ones, you'll find carpet in the bathroom, and almost everywhere you'll find plush bath mats, fabric toilet seat covers, and towels that sit damp for days. To a Japanese person, putting absorbent, soft, moisture-trapping material in the one room defined by water and humidity is close to madness. Carpet in a bathroom, in their eyes, is a sponge that soaks up splashes, moisture, and worse, holding it against the floor where it can never fully dry, growing bacteria and odor. The Japanese bathroom is the opposite by design: hard, waterproof, drainable surfaces that can be rinsed, squeegeed, and dried completely. Everything about it is built to shed water and dry fast, never to hold it. So the Western instinct to make a bathroom cozy with carpets and thick fabrics reads, to a Japanese person, as prioritizing a warm look over basic hygiene, deliberately putting damp, germ-harboring materials in the exact place they least belong. The same objection extends to the plush mat that stays permanently damp, the fabric toilet lid cover, and towels that hang without ever fully drying, all moisture traps quietly harboring bacteria and smell. In Japan, mats are quick-drying, often a fast-wicking diatomaceous earth type, and everything is managed to dry fast. A carpeted, fabric-softened Western bathroom, to Japanese eyes, is a collection of damp sponges gathered in the single worst room to put them. Before the next habits, if you're finding this eye-opening, take a second to subscribe, because the last few reveal the deepest differences of all. Habit number 7, keeping your toothbrush out in the open, right next to the toilet. This is a subtle one that most Westerners never think about, but it can genuinely unsettle a Japanese person who values zoned cleanliness. In a typical Western bathroom, the toothbrush usually sits in a cup on the counter, out in the open, often just a short distance from the toilet. Here's the problem, and it connects back to why the Japanese separate the toilet in the first place. Every time a toilet is flushed with the lid up, it releases a fine, invisible spray of microscopic droplets into the air around it. And those droplets can settle on nearby surfaces, including, potentially, your exposed toothbrush. To a culture that already believes the toilet belongs in its own separate room, the Western habit of storing the very thing you put in your mouth twice a day out in the open air of a combined toilet and bathroom is deeply unappealing. The Japanese instinct to physically separate the toilet from everything else means this problem largely doesn't exist for them. But when they see a toothbrush sitting exposed near a Western toilet, the mental picture of what might be settling on those bristles is genuinely off-putting. It's a small thing, but it captures the whole philosophy. Keep the clean things far from the unclean things. It's worth noting how differently the two cultures handle bathroom storage in general because of this. Where a Western counter often displays toothbrushes, razors, and open cups out in the air of the same room as the toilet, the Japanese preference, reinforced by the toilet being in its own room entirely, is that the things you use on your body simply aren't exposed to toilet air in the first place. Combine that with the habit many Japanese have of keeping the toilet lid down and of storing personal items in closed cabinets rather than out on open surfaces, and you see a consistent instinct at work: Minimize what's left exposed, and never let the zone of the toilet overlap with the zone of things that touch your face and mouth. The exposed toothbrush by the Western toilet is just the most vivid example of a boundary the Japanese keep almost without thinking. Habit number 8. Treating the bath as an occasional luxury or skipping the soak entirely for a quick shower. In much of the West, a bath is something you take once in a while as a treat, and day to day, most people just take a fast shower to rinse off and rush out. To a Japanese person, this misses the entire point of bathing and represents a real loss. In Japan, the daily soak in the tub is not a luxury. It's a cherished ritual, an almost sacred part of ending the day. After washing thoroughly, sinking into deep, hot water up to your shoulders is how you dissolve the day's stress, warm your body to the core, ease your muscles, and mentally transition toward rest and sleep. Japanese tubs are built deep specifically to allow this full-body immersion, and the whole family partakes in turn, each person soaking in the clean, reheated water. The bath is therapy, it's self-care, it's a daily reset for body and mind. So when a Japanese person hears that many Westerners go months without a proper soak, or think of a bath as an indulgence rather than a nightly practice, they don't just see a scheduling difference. They see people missing out on one of life's genuine daily pleasures and one of the best tools for health and relaxation there is. To them, skipping the soak is like never letting yourself truly rest. And there's real substance behind it. A deep, warm soak relaxes muscles, improves circulation, and the drop in body temperature afterward helps you fall asleep more easily. In Japan, it's woven into family life. Parents bathe with young children, and it marks the boundary between the day's busyness and the evening's calm. Because the washing already happened separately, the soak is free to be purely about well-being. When Westerners collapse it all into a 3-minute rinse, a Japanese person sees a daily ritual of health and calm reduced to a hurried chore and finds it a little sad. Habit number 9, and this is the one that ties everything together. Not cleaning the bathroom as you go, and letting it slowly become dirty before doing one big scrub. Here we arrive at the deepest difference of all, the underlying philosophy of maintenance. In many Western homes, the bathroom gets cleaned when it visibly needs it, once a week, or when it's gotten bad enough that a real scrubbing session is required. To a Japanese person, this approach guarantees a bathroom that's dirty most of the time. The Japanese philosophy, rooted in the same thinking as Kaizen, is small, constant, continuous care, cleaning a little every day so that grime, mold, and soap scum never get the chance to build up in the first place. Many Japanese people wipe down surfaces after each use, keep the room dry, and do quick daily maintenance, so a big, exhausting, deep clean is rarely necessary because the bathroom never falls far enough to need one. It's the difference between letting a problem accumulate and then battling it, versus never letting the problem form at all. This is why Japanese bathrooms have a reputation for being astonishingly clean. It's not that they scrub harder on cleaning day, it's that every day is a tiny cleaning day, so the bathroom simply never gets dirty. In practice, this looks like a series of tiny, almost invisible habits. Rinsing down the tub and walls right after bathing so soap scum never dries on, wiping the sink after brushing, squeegeeing the shower glass while it's still wet and easy, running the fan to kill the moisture that mold needs, and giving the toilet a quick swipe far more often than a Westerner would think to. None of these takes more than a minute, and because they happen constantly, the grime, the pink slime, the black mold in the grout, the lime scale, the smell, never get the foothold they need to become a real problem. When a Japanese person sees the Western pattern of neglect then blitz, they see a space that spends most of its life in a state they'd find unacceptable, cleaned hard occasionally rather than kept clean always. And that, more than any single habit, is the real heart of the divide. In Japan, cleanliness isn't an event, it's a way of life. So there they are, 9 Western bathroom habits that genuinely horrify the Japanese. Washing inside the tub and soaking in dirty water, putting the toilet in the same room as the bath, tracking the same footwear between the toilet and the home, leaving the bathroom damp and unventilated, relying on dry paper alone, carpeting and softening a wet room, storing your toothbrush out beside the toilet, treating the soak as a rare luxury, and cleaning only occasionally instead of daily. And when you line them all up, a single clear picture emerges. The Japanese treat the bathroom as a space where cleanliness is sacred, zoned, ritualized, and maintained every single day, while many Western habits, without meaning to, work against that at nearly every step. The beautiful thing is that you can borrow any of these ideas starting tonight. Wash before you soak, dry the room out, clean a little each day, and feel the difference immediately. And if you want the complete Japanese method, with every principle like this for a cleaner, calmer, healthier home, the full book is linked in the description of this video and on the channel. One fair note before you go. None of this is about looking down on anyone. These are cultural differences shaped by different homes, climates, and histories, not a scorecard of right and wrong, and plenty of these Western habits exist for practical reasons of space and plumbing. The point isn't that one culture is superior, it's that Japan's bathroom philosophy has genuinely brilliant ideas about hygiene and daily ritual that any of us can learn from and adopt in our own homes, whatever our bathroom looks like. And if this opened your eyes, wait until you see the everyday Western kitchen habits that horrify the Japanese just as much. The ones happening in your home right now that they would never dream of. In the next video, you'll see the kitchen customs that reveal a completely different way of thinking about food, cleanliness, and the heart of the home. See you in the next one.